Welcome, guys. We're gonna do a session of X-Plane here. We are in a desert location called MMQT. I don't know why it says on pause here. Strange. Okay. We will reduce to 2000 RPM eventually, but let's get our lights ready. We want landing and taxi. I think we're 5 miles in by now. Yes, we are. Let's do initial contact with MMQT Tower. This is November Fox 009er. Requesting approach 5 miles inbound 090. Then we'll be instructed to which runway, and it'll be runway 09er. Hopefully that makes sense, because what tends to slip out sometimes is this rural accent, like the redneck American accent. That's what I'm told it sounds like. It's southernish. And recently I found out that the number 9, isn't really pronounced niner around the world. They do make an emphasis for it, so there's no confusion. In US airports, I assume, but got mine training elsewhere. It's too expensive in the US. I don't know how people manage to pay off schools in the US. It seems to be just debt. Pure debt. Just debt management. Or you could just go to school abroad, have better teachers training for less, and travel around a little. Keep more money in your pockets, and you do it without loans. With 0 loans, so you can just do it with a regular job, as things should be. Not immense debt over your head when you're just getting started. This instrument is not working. What the hell is this? Not the instrument, but why isn't it working? What would it be called more universally? Artificial horizon? Alright. Gotta recover some speed soon. Let's do 1000 descension. Let's start to recover. Let's do close to 1500. Let's do a little more. We got 3 pappies, 3 red, 1 white. Let's keep them inside. Let's bring it up closer to 19. Alright, here we are. Trim up so the nose goes down. We got 1 point of flaps. We have our initial contact. Landing and taxi are on. Got a visual of the yoke. Let's trim down a little. We got 1 white, 3 red. Start anticipating that white pappy. Still too low, it says. Let's keep out of sight so we get that nose up. Where does it want us to land at if we're 3 red, 1 white? Maybe we had 2 momentarily. We were doing well. Butter as butter gets. Unsealed landing. Let's see what the inside of the airport looks like. Let's exit right here. I remember this now. This is what I used to teach how to read the airport signs. They wouldn't teach me this at school. The instructor just wouldn't do it. Left is, let's run over here, right in front of it. Let's get in its face right there. H, hotel. A for alpha. So black and yellow. Left would be where you are. Yellow is where you are heading. So this exit is hotel. Alpha is going to be taxi. If I'm reading that correctly. This airport's furthest runway, I'm pretty sure is going to be Alpha. It's Alpha, Alpha. If this is correct, I'm joining Alpha right here. Let's do flaps up. I'll be joining Alpha once we go horizontal right here. It'll be a taxiway, and eventually we will see another Alpha. And it'll be Alpha, Alpha. Left and right. So black square and yellow rectangle will have the same thing. What's up with my plane? Oh, we're going too fast. You really want to taxi around 1300. It was going like 18. So in theory, it should be Alpha Alpha here. Yep. So we exited via hotel. And I don't know why they were outside my school. They just did not want to teach me that. It was one individual, I guess, not the entire school. I didn't learn it until I was actually flying outside of the simulation phase. And I would not have passed if I didn't get another instructor. There seemed to be something off about that guy. He had something against me. Can't let these things stop you, just request another guy. Alpha Alpha. There it is. Left is where you are, right is where you were heading. It was so simple to just teach that and he wouldn't do it. Some people are a bug. Let's do another landing. Let's see. MMQT would be Querétaro, Central Mexico. St. Barth. This one's a challenge. We got Barth close here. I think it's an island. I'm not sure where it is, but St. Barth, you need to start stalling pretty much before going up a hill. And there's a hill before the landing pad. The runway, I mean. Oh, do not say landing pad in front of a pilot. A real pilot. Planes and stuff. And jets. There's artificial horizon, something's off with it. Do I have faults as part of the settings? There's that runway. Let's kill our power. Let's get 1 point of flaps. Let's get some power. Okay, trim up, kill the power. Full flaps. We'll recover some speed, just going down. And... that was not how. Let's see. Alright. You will not get on the first attempt. If you get on the first attempt, you're a natural born. Let's see. Looks like I'm gonna start reducing speed a hell of a lot sooner. Let's kill our speed here. Let's stall even. Let's stall before the hill. Let's grab 1 point of flaps. Start recovering speed. Not by much. Let's go neutral trim actually. My flaps attempt didn't work. Figured if I killed all the flaps, I would just reduce my altitude dramatically. As if there was a downward spike in wind, a downslope. And it did just landed a little too harsh. You don't want to hear that thump sound. Now we have it as an example, we'll say it was on purpose. Alright, here we are. Land quickly. There we are. No thump. Here we go, full flaps, throttle out. Full flaps, I think, will give you some air resistance in order to use his air brakes. Flaps up. Keep the engine on at 1000 and let's check our positioning. Not bad. Right in front of the second exit. Let's see how close we are to the ocean here. Let's see. In theory, if we get some speed, we should be able to take off. 2 flaps, let's go. Trim up, trim up, trim up, trim up. We've got 100. Once we're at 300 feet, we have a assured safe flight, assured takeoff. Let's trim up a little right rudder. Okay, 300, flaps up. Let's get that neutral trim at first. And we've increased speed successfully. We were able to take off with super short runway too. Now what's going on there when we took off is a lot of headwind, which is why you land in that direction. Otherwise, it seems pretty obvious. Why not land from the beach to avoid the hill? But you would have tailwind. You would just speed into that hill and crash. So you exploit the headwind. You slow down and use it as air resistance. Get your flaps in a certain position, 10 degrees down or 20, and you use that wind in your face rather than on your back. The wind at your face, it'll slow you down. That way you can actually land on that place. Very specific training, we got it in the second attempt. Let's try it again. Exploit the headwind. Stall a little beforehand because you really want to slow down. I just took out the power completely. No alarm. 1 point, and let's start recovering some speed. You do it with a nose down. You definitely don't want to turn too much. Not without speed. Okay, keep the white arc. Power out. Let's get some power in. I'm going to keep control of this thing. Without power, you can't turn. By power, I mean throttle. You need speed. Get up to 2000. Start reducing from 2000. Reducing a lot. And power out. Maintain it slightly neutral once we're over. We start with a nose down. There we are. Full flaps for air resistance. And here we are again. That one is full of more complications, but we adjusted. That's the most important thing to do, to just adjust, adapt, and you don't die. And you won't even hear a thump, and you'll still get butter landings with all these scrubs that I had to readjust for, like the rudders towards the end. And not an immediate touchdown either. You want an immediate touchdown. But I was able to correct that and land before jumping into the ocean with this plane. Looks like my mistake was too much altitude, too much of a nosedive that gave me a lot of speed. The way your nose is positioned, it'll give you speed, so let's try flaps earlier on. And if we're going too fast, we'll use second flaps, 2 points of flaps, so 20 degrees. Let's go a little neutral here. With some speed. Looks like I was too high and my nosedive gave me too much speed. I want to predict a little, so I'm reducing ahead of time, pulling the power completely before crossing the hill. Getting some power back from a little bit of movement. A little more. Let's go for a touchdown here. A lot of readjusting, but we're a lot closer now. A lot closer to that second exit. One entrance, 2 entrances. The entrance closest to the beach, right in front of it. I think that's a good goal. That second exit, land around that, stop around that, not land. Your touchdown is somewhere around this part over here in front of the hill. So touchdown as soon as possible. And don't let it roll too much, hit the brakes, and really use those rudders when you hit the brakes since the plane is going to start jittering. So don't let it roll too much. You see how much runway you have there. Looks like we have this one nailed down. Let's try Tenzing again. This one's my favorite. It's so difficult. I'd say it's more complex than this hill landing. Because even with the first attempt, we survived. Didn't butter the landing, but we did land harshly. Let's do a first attempt here after a while. We've done it before, and I'm pretty sure the elevation is going to be somewhere around 9,003 for initial touch on the runway. Tenzing Hillary. Like the glare in the sun. Airport is a little tough to see, but it's right there. You would need to know beforehand. Yeah, very niche training for this. There's unique licenses to fly in Nepal. If you're going to these mountains, you're going to need that specific training. There's our trim, let's go neutral. Let's bring up the 2,000. Let's not descend anymore. And remember, you can keep some speed. Here I'm at 2,000. Since you have an upward slope. Wow, landed too early. You see how I adjusted there, though? I put in 3 points of flaps. That's definitely not something you want to have to resort to, but points of flaps, they give you some ascension. This is what I like about this simulation. This is kind of how the plane would move when you've actually flown one. Pop in some flaps and you see some immediate, ascension, immediate elevation. You can get some views or examples of that with planes that have some sort of circular cutout on the window. And with a circle cutout, you can introduce an object, let's say your hand. You stick your hand out, and the plane immediately starts to move. Just a little change in the aerodynamics, a little shift in its structure and its shape, and you have dramatic movement. So 10 degrees of flaps moving, And you'll have those are your flaps right there. Flaps up, flaps down. You'll immediately have a shift in elevation. Plane just jumped up, so that saved me from crashing and a technical butter landing on the grass before touching the runway. But a good place to start right there. Let's crash land into the mountains over here, so we can get an idea of how crazy this airport is. And one of these mountains is Mount Everest. I don't know which one it is, or if it's visible here. But this is where people start their ascension for that kind of climb. You know, this is possible. We have a lot of extra runway. But considering that we're gonna just fall down, we can exploit that and get some ascension. We're gonna need everything to be perfect though, so let's hope the mixture is all set. You know what, let's not hope. Let's fix that. Let's see. I'm gonna get 1700 RPM. It's gonna be somewhere around there, and the parking brakes are difficult. I have to release the brakes on the Xbox remote here. And there it is, tap. It lost me a little more runway. But that's gotta be what the shortest takeoff I'm gonna do, but I'm done here. We want it perfect. We want it exactly at 1700 RPM and then start adjusting from there. So let it run, let it run. It's like it's 1700.1. Okay, from here, start adjusting with them. Okay, pull, and we pull until it no longer rises. It looks like it's around there. Okay, let's double check. Push down, does it rise? Yes, it does. Let it rise. Push down, and it lowers. Let it lower. Pull. No shift. Looks like it did rise. It's gonna be around there. It's no longer rising once I start pulling. Yep, didn't rise anymore. Okay, max power takeoff. 1 point of flaps. And pre-adjust with a little bit of right rudder for that left-leaning tendency, and release rudder, release brake. If we get some movement on that needle for our speed, which we do have, in theory, we should be able to take off right at the edge from here. With a nosedive, of course. You exploit the fall. I'm gonna change my airport button. Let's see here. It's gonna be tower. Let's see, this is all external. We got chase. Let's try chase right along. Let me see. That is chase. Let's do right along. Right along. Let's see. Well, anyway. Successfully took off and had a stable plane. Let's do a landing here. Complex landing since we're already below where we're supposed to be. I think we wanted 9,003. We're at 9,001. So we're doing this with a lot more speed. But remember, you can use speed for this. It's an uphill slope, and that's where you're taking advantage of. Kind of like in Barth, you're taking advantage of the face wind to slow you down. Face wind slows you down. This one, going uphill, slows you down. Just let it roll. You can let it roll the whole way. Let's put that to the test. We're not using brakes. You would hear that sound. Zero brakes, uphill. And there's a wall at the end, so you definitely want to stop. And zero brakes. You will hear this sound. Let's see here. Let's fall into position. Get an idea of the size of this runway. It's falling the other direction. And we're actually going to need to introduce throttle now. Let's try to take off with this view of the camera, outside of the cockpit. I think it'll be a more good visual of how short this runway is and how dangerous it is. It's difficult to get a sense of where you're gonna move. I've been trying with this camera, I like it. My favorite camera. External chase. And we have stable plane again. Great camera, external. Well, got a little off track there, but those are landings with new microphone setup. Hopefully it's more clear now. We're using new adjustments with a 1% desktop audio recording and with a 350% boost on the microphone audio. So hopefully everything is more clear, literally with the pronouncing, with being able to hear me over the engine and stuff. Maybe there'll be more improvements along the way, but I'm still learning on this recording stuff. Hopefully each video with each day becomes more and more higher in quality, like with the new experimentation with the microphone versus audio recording on the desktop here. So hopefully the videos have been getting better, and hope to see you guys on the next one.